Hello, this is week 7 of our music lessons on the internet. So we'll start off by doing our usual greeting. So, hello to you. Move your shoulders, 1, 2. Now stamp your feet and clap to the beat. Wave your hands up high. Point your fingers to the sky. With a smile and a grin. Turn round and spin. Well done, everyone. Now our lesson has begun. Well done. Right, I've got a little game for you to start off with, and this is called Stand Like a Statue. So let's just think about the rhythm of the words. Remember, the rhythm goes with the words. So the words that are important are stand like a statue. So can you clap the rhythm of stand like a statue? That's it. So it goes stand like a statue. Can you do that again? Ready, go. Stand like a statue. Let's do it one more time so that we're really, really sure. Ready, go. Stand like a statue. Now you're going to do it one more time, but this time I want you to think the words, don't say them out loud, and just clap the rhythm. Ready, go. Okay, so now we've learned that rhythm. It's quite important in this game. So what happens is I clap a rhythm and then you copy it. Then I'm going to clap another rhythm and you copy it. But if I clap the rhythm, stand like a statue, I'm just going to do that again. You don't clap that rhythm, you miss it out. You stand like a statue, okay? So I wonder if I'm going to catch you out. I will not do that straight away when it gets to the stand like a statue, just in case you do make a mistake and I catch you out. But then I will prompt you by going like that, which means you don't clap anything. Right. Are you ready to play the game? Here we go. Did you clap that by mistake? That was stand like a statue. Okay, let's try again. Did I catch you out? Well done. Did I catch you out at all there? Yeah, that's possibly a game that you could play with the rest of your family or your friends. Make a game with that yourselves. Well done. Okay. I started to teach you a song last week, a very, very simple song, and it was called Once a Man Fell in a Well. So I'm going to teach you it in phrases. Phrases are small bits of music. So I'll sing a bit and then you copy. So I'll start. Once a man fell in a well. Splish, splash, splosh, he sounded. If he had not fallen in, he would not have drowned. Well done. Could you remember what I was doing with my hands? So as my voice was going up, my hands were going up. and as my voice came down, my hands came down. Let's try it like that again and join in with your hands. Me first. Once a man fell in a well. Splish, splash, splosh, he sounded. If he had not fallen in, he would not have drowned. Well done. Right, I'm going to join two phrases together. So that's a little bit longer for me to sing, and then I want you to copy so that we really know this song very well. So me first. Once a man fell in a well, splish, splash, splosh, he sounded. If he had not fallen in, he would not have drowned. Well done. Let's go all the way through the song now. I'm sure you know it. Are we ready? Off we go. Once a man fell in a well, splish, splash, splosh, he sounded. If he had not fallen in, he would not have drowned. Well done. So, as I said, it was a very, very simple song. And did you notice that each time we sang something, if it was going up or if it was coming down, it moved in steps. There weren't any jumps, it just moved up in steps. And then at the very end, it moved down in steps. It's like going on a ladder. So I'm just going to do it like this as we sing it now. Are you ready? Join in with me. Off we go. Once a man fell in a well, splish, splash, splosh, he sounded. If he had not fallen in, he would not have drowned. Should we do it like that once more? I bet you're getting really good at the song now. Try it with our fingers as well. So we're climbing a ladder. We're going up a ladder. Off we go. Once a man fell in a well, splish, splash, splosh, he sounded. If he had not fallen in, he would not have drowned. Well done. So the first three phrases were the same. They were going up in pitch, but the last phrase, the fourth phrase, was coming down in pitch. The notes were going up in steps, and at the end, they were coming down in pitch. So I just want us to look at our fingers again a minute. And I was actually going on the rungs of a ladder, on the steps of a ladder. But I want you now to think of the ladder having a step and then a bit of a gap, a step and a gap, a step and a gap, step and a gap, and then another step at the top. Okay, let's do that again. So we're going to go first step, first gap, second step, second gap, third step, third gap, fourth step, fourth gap, fifth step. Now what we've just done there will be very useful later on in the lesson. Right, I'm just going to pause a minute. Okay, so at this point in the lesson, what I'd like you to do is go and find a pencil, a piece of paper and a rubber, or if you have a whiteboard, so that what we draw you can rub out. And what we're going to be doing is we're just going to go over what we did last week to remind ourselves of how we did last week. While you're getting you can pause the video at this point while you get to what you're getting, but I'm actually going to share a screen as well. So we've got our screen. I've got my whiteboard, my piece of paper, like you've got a piece of paper. So we're going to start by drawing a stave. So in music, we don't write on one line, we write on how many lines? 5, that's right. So I'm going to do 5 lines. I'm going to start at the bottom this time. I'm going to do line number 1, line number 2. Sorry, it's not very straight. Line number 3, line number 4, and line number 5. Have you done that? Okay. Just to help, but this isn't what we do normally, I'm just going to put numbers here just to help us. So that we know where line number 1, line number 2, line 3, 4 and 5 is. So what we did last week was we drew treble clefs. A treble clef is like a capital letter. A capital letter starts every sentence. A treble clef starts all of the music that we're going to be using. So there are other clefs, but we're using a treble clef and it's for high sounds, sounds to do with our voice, or sounds to do with a recorder, music for a piano or part of the piano, for a violin, a flute. So if you remember, we start on line 2 to draw a treble clef. We go up to line 3, back to line 1, carry on up to line 5, do a loop above line 5, and then come straight back down again, and then do a little kick. That's our treble clef. Our treble clef starts every line of music that we're involved with. It's like a capital letter. It's a treble clef. Right, so let's have another go at doing this. It's good fun. See if I can draw it again. So we start on line 2, go up to line 3, down to line 1, back round up to line 5, do a little loop above line 5, that was wobbly, wasn't it? And then go down, straight the way down and do a kick. Should we do one more of those? So we start on line 2, round to line 3, down to line 1, up to line 5, loop above line 5, then come back down again. Okay. So that is our treble clef. I'm just going to rub this one. Oh, let's see if I can do this. Hang on. Select, rubber. Just going to get rid of that treble clef and that treble clef because we only need one treble clef. Okay. So at the beginning of our music, we always have a treble clef. At the beginning of our stave, there's always a treble clef. The next thing that we usually see at the beginning of the first stave is a magic number. And very often for our music, our magic number is a 4. And you have a 4 that goes between line 3, 4 and 5. And then you have a 4 that goes between line 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so the number that we're interested in is that top number. That gives us our magic number. So in the pieces of music that we usually write now at the moment, everything adds up to 4. So the top number is the magic number. It could be in another piece of music that the top number might be 3 and the bottom number is 4. The magic number is 3. It might be in another piece of music that the top number is 2. The bottom number is still 4. Our important number is 2. The magic number is 2. It's always the top number of the music that we're involved with. So I've just shown you examples there of time signatures. I'll just write that word down. Time signature. That A is a bit funny, isn't it? Time signature. Let me join that A up a little bit more. Okay, time signature. So we've got our treble clef and we've got our time signature. Okay, so you can practice drawing those. I'm going to stop sharing that screen and I'm going to share a different screen now. Okay. So this is a little bit tidier, this screen here, but I can do a little tiny bit more with it. Let's see if I can get this right. There we go. Oh, there we go. So we've got our 5 lines. That's called a stave. Then we've got our sign at the beginning of our music, like a capital letter. That's called a treble clef. Well done. And then we've got a note here. Now, we know it's a note, not a sign or a symbol, because it's got a blob. All notes have blobs. I'm going to carry on now and say some notes have sticks and some notes have tails, but all notes have blobs. And when you've got a blob like this with a stick like this is a crotchet. A crotchet is 1 count and it's a tar. Okay, so whatever the note looks like tells you how long it is. When you've got a black blob with a stick, it's 1 count long. If it's a different colour, it might have more counts. It might be longer. If it's got sticks and a tail, it's shorter. So what it looks like tells you how long the note is. But when we're writing music, where the blob is tells you the letter name of the note. Now in music, the notes that you've got are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So we get lots and lots of information. Depending on where that blob is, it'll tell us whether it's an A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. But what it looks like tells you how long it is. So if it's a black blob with a stick, it's an 1 count note. If it's in the position on the stave that tells us it's an A, then it's an A that's 1 count. Anyway, we'll go more over that another time. Let's think of the stave as being a ladder. Like when we were singing our Once a Man Fell in a Well, I told you that each of those notes goes up like a ladder. Now here we've got the bottom line of the ladder, our line number 1. Then we were talking about in between, weren't we? In between our fingers. So where the blob is there, it's on the first line and it tells us it's a particular note. That actually is an E. We're now going to go up and put it in the next place, which is in between line 1 and 2. So that's in between your first and your second finger, isn't it? That's the next bit. So that's the next note up the ladder. The next note up the ladder goes on to the next line. So that would be like your second finger. So we've gone from the first line, first space, second line. The next note up the ladder goes in the next space. The next note going up the ladder goes on the next line. The next note on the ladder goes in the next space. The next note on the ladder goes on the next line. And then we go in the next space. And then we go on the next line. So that is our musical ladder. So if I just copy that a minute, let me just paste a few of these. Right, let's see how we get on. If I was to put that as the first one on the ladder, let's put that the second one on the ladder. Can you see it goes in between the line and the space? That one goes on the next line of the ladder. That one goes in the next space. That one goes in the next line, and we could carry on going up. So what I want you to do at the moment is, on your piece of paper or your whiteboard, I'd like you to draw, first of all, blobs on the line, on the lines, okay, so that they go like that, okay? Can you see that? So that the stave line goes through the middle of the blob. Can you see how the blob is actually quite big and it covers as much above the line as it does below? Can you draw all of your notes on those lines like that? Okay. You can pause the video while you do that. Now, I don't know whether you notice, but when you come to here and go a bit higher up the stave, the sticks kind of go off the page a little tiny bit. So I'm just going to show you something, or hopefully I can show you something. Right, I'm going to turn that note round, and I'm going to put it on that line. I'm going to turn that note round, and I'm going to put it on that line. So they are still crotchets. Oops. They're still crotchets, and it doesn't matter whether the sticks go up or down. Now the rule is usually, not always, but usually, if you're writing a piece of music and your blob comes above the third line, we count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. If the blob comes above the third line, then the stick goes down. If the blob is below the third line, the stick goes up. And if it's on the third line, doesn't really matter. It can go up or it can go down. Let's just turn that one around. Okay, it doesn't really matter. That one doesn't really matter. But it usually goes up, that one. But it doesn't matter. Let me turn it back round again. There we go. So we've got our notes on the lines. Let's change them now, and let's put our notes. Oh, I'm moving that treble clef by mistake. Let's put our notes in the spaces. When you put the notes in the spaces, let me move that one out of the way. When you put the notes in the spaces, you have to make sure you don't go above or below the line that it's in. So if it's in the first space, let's just move that one out of the way. If it goes in the first space, it doesn't go below the bottom line and the second line. If it's in the second space, it doesn't go below the second line and the third line. If it's in the third space, it doesn't go below the third line and the fourth line. And if it's in the fourth space, it doesn't go below the fourth line or above the fifth line. Okay, so those are the notes in a space. So that's what the notes look like in the spaces. And I'll just put them back on the lines. That's what the notes look like on the lines. You can practice doing that yourself. Okay. So today we've looked at how the notes fit on the lines and the spaces. Today I've only used crotchets, but there might be quavers or there might be minims. Minims, remember, are white blobs. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. And we're going to have a go at playing some music now. So I'm going to share with you, hopefully, some music. I'm going to try and share with you 2 pieces of music. Okay, here we go. So we've got the music for Mike Oliver's Tank Top. Okay, it's got 2 pages to it. So let's have a look at it first of all. I know we haven't got any staves yet, but we're not quite up to that at the moment, reading from the stave. So we've got our treble clef that begins at each line of our music. We've got 4/4 that shows us our time signature, our magic number. Our magic number is 4. So in our first bar, our rhythm is ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Second bar is ti, ti, ta, ta, because we've got a min in there, a 2 count note. By the way, I should have said go and get a percussion instrument, or you can use your hands. You can pause the video to go and look. Let's have a look at the third bar of music, the third box. Ta, ta, ta. Now, how long, how many counts is this note here? Yes, it's a semi-breve, it's 4 counts long. Ta, well done. Let's have a look at the second line of music. Do you want to say it through with me? Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, 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 because that's 4 counts there. Let's have a look at our third line of music. Ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta, ta. And then our second page, ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. Okay. So there is our piece of music. I'm hoping I've got all of that right. So if you've got a percussion instrument, or you can clap, when it gets to these longer sounds, if you've got a shaky instrument, just shake it for a bit longer. So I would go ti, ti, ta, ta, there. And here you've got 4 counts. Ta, if you're shaking something, okay? Or if you're just doing a bang, so to be ta for a semi-breve, or if a minim, it'd be ta. Okay, so let's have a look and see if I can find the music for this. So I'm just bringing up the music. So I'm just making sure that we've got all of our things on. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to stop sharing a minute. And then I'm going to reshare that because I want to make sure that we've got our music. Share sound, we have. Okay, let's do all this again. There we go. Right. Let's start it again. And off we go. Well done. Did you get that? Was that quite fast? Shall we have another go? Are you ready? Well done. Let's do it one more time and let's see if you can do it a bit quicker. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, wow, that was fast, wasn't it? So I'm just going to stop sharing. Okay, so that was really, really fast. We might have another go at that next time. So today what we've been talking about is the stave. So this is grown-up writing of music now. What comes on the stave first of all? The treble clef. So we drew the treble clef. Then the next thing we see is the time signature, that's right. And then that shows us our magic number that everything adds up to in each bar, in each box of music. And then we thought about what a note looks like, tells us how long it is. So if it's a black blob with a stick, it's a crotchet and it's 1 count. If it's a black blob stick with a tail, it's a quaver, it's half a count, it's quite a bit quicker. If it's a white blob with a stick, it's a minim and it's got 2 counts. If it's a white blob, it's a semi-breve, it's got 4 counts. Then we thought about where the blob goes on the stave. And with our song, we were going up in steps and down in steps. And I showed you on the stave how it looks going up in steps and going down in steps. It goes from a line to a space, 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 and then the top line. Okay, we'll carry on with that next week. So all I need to do now is say goodbye.